about the guard surfing and outside casting in general. So we've been doing a bunch of stuff about if he stays seated, so I kind of wanted to go into this supine position now. In the back. Okay. We were doing a bit of this in the warm-up. I want to kind of go in a bit more depth now in terms of what to do here and how to do this. So, like I was kind of saying in the beginning, what I call guard surfing is kind of any kind of moment where I can keep my opponent in this kind of a position. Okay, so it can be here, it can be a leg drag, it can be a hip camp. As long as I'm just keeping both of his feet on one side of my body and his knees pointed away from me, then I'm in that kind of a guard surf position, okay? The minute we get into, the minute we get into this, now I'm not really surfing his guard anymore. Now I'm in danger because his knees are pointed towards me, okay? Yeah, because now I'm going to start claiming guard, now we can start launching attacks, okay? If his knees are pointed away from me, I'm not saying it's impossible, but this is a really hard position to launch attacks from, even if I haven't technically passed yet, okay? So, the first thing I want to do is I want everyone again, we're going to kind of repeat the first warm-up exercise, but go really slow, go really light, don't try to fight, and now bottom doesn't try to actually sweep or submit you or anything. It's just what we're going to do is we're going to just work on just keeping that kind of an outside position. So I've always kind of noticed the easiest way to do this is I take control of both knees. I don't really want to push in like this, because now I've got his feet kind of pointed at me. I want to weight this knee, because the main thing I always notice when people try to do this is they always want to kind of go like this. And the problem is, again, now both knees are pointed at me, now he can start doing stuff, okay? So what we actually want to do when we're in this is if I'm going to go on this side, I want to put weight in the opposite knee. And that's going to turn him away from me, okay? So always try to weight the opposite knee of the direction you want to go. Okay, so if I go on the other side, then I weight this knee. Okay? So we're just going to kind of work on that in a bit of a free-form exercise. Again, don't try too hard if you're on bottom. Modulate your intensity. Let your opponent kind of get a feel for how to push your knees to the outside. So you kind of, just go super. So, okay, so we're just kind of, okay, and now I'm in it. Okay? So, and then we can just reset and just reset. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Just kind of like that. Minimal resistance, do not try too hard. Okay? And let your opponent just be kind of used to coming into this position. Okay? So now we're going to start making this horrible for my opponent. Okay? So, I've been saying this a lot lately. Once we get here, I want you to stop doing Jiu-Jitsu, okay? Because everyone's Jiu-Jitsu instinct is, pass as fast as I can. And I specifically want us to not do that, okay? So this is where we start to really guard surf our opponent, okay? Because in general, the longer I can spend in this kind of not pass but not guard position, the better for me. Because he's going to have to exert energy to get back into an advantageous position. And I want that. I want him to spend the next 2-3 minutes, I gotta get a guard, so that by the time I feel like actually passing him, he's burned up all of his energy trying to get back into guard or back into some sort of a good position, and I can just do it in what I want after that. Okay, so the idea here is not I want to pass. The idea is I want to exhaust my opponent over time, okay? So, the first thing we're going to do from here is we're just going to take it into a leg drag position. And I'm going to put some nice weight on my opponent. And, again, not hard, but we're just going to kind of let him sort of move around in this position. So try to get back in the guard, basically. Oh, thank you. Okay? So that's for me the optimal situation, that I don't pass. His attempt to get back into guard makes me pass all by itself. Okay? So, again, going along, we're going to do this again in kind of 1-2 minute intervals. So, we just kind of get into position, go into the leg drag, and then we just kind of let our opponent try things out to get back into guard. And if he pulls us into the pass, fine, but I specifically don't try to pass. I try to hold position and let him sort of cook for a bit, okay? So again, just a straight stroke. Thank you. You just made me pass.
I bet I have a frame on the neck.
You're not getting a half mark. Okay? So, clear what I want. And then we're going to start a little combo with this and a couple of other positions I like to call the devil's three-way. Yes, I'm having fun with the names. Okay, so again, we'll play around with that a bit and then we'll do the devil's three-way. Okay, so first of all, just kind of explaining the guy on bottom, what his real options are, because I saw that happen a couple of times with you, Roman, and Marios. Like sometimes when people aren't sure what to do here, they'll like maybe grab an underhook and pull. And the thing is, that just pulls me in the pass. This is actually the best thing that can happen to me. And by grabbing an underhook, he gives me my cross face. So I'm in the best position now that I can possibly be, considering it's side control. Okay? And in general, when you're in this kind of guard serve position, the best thing for me is if my opponent pulls me in some way. Like, yeah, or you get, or like on this grip, or on this leg, you get a scoop grip, and you start pulling me. Okay, now you just pulled me in the pass again. That's what I want. Okay? So, pulling motions from bottom in that kind of position, I'm not saying you're never going to see it, you will, but they're generally not good ideas because you pull me in the pass. Yeah?
Can you pull the other leg?
You can't really.
Yeah, but when there are moments when you...
Yeah, if I'm like this.
Yeah, okay.
Then go ahead. Try.
Yeah,
Exactly. If I can just hook in here, then again I get kind of caught. There is something I'm toying around with right now called the reverse false read. I'm not quite sold on the position yet personally. I'm still working on it myself. It has some potential, but I've not been able to pull it off against anyone good. I've been mainly torturing white belts with it right now. So not to say that it can't work, but I'm not sold on the position yet. Okay? So, but also if I'm like here, then my leg's got a nice bend in it. He's not getting a scoop grip in. Okay? So I'm wanting to explain that because that's going to kind of build our devil's three-way. We're kind of scooting back. I want to make sure we stay in the camera. Okay? So, because for him, the best option, I saw you do this a couple of times. This was a good reaction from you on bottom. One of his best options is to actually frame and get space between us and to try and pull this knee back in. Yeah, and to try and get on your back or even better on the side. No. Even if you keep the legs here, if you just try to go back onto this side, yeah, this is just in general a better position for him. Yeah, exactly. Now you can start going into your guard, you can start attacking. Now you're in a better position, okay? So just a little bit of explanation of what the guys on bottom, a good person on bottom is going to try to make space and bring his knees back towards me, okay? And this is how we're going to start building the devil's three-way, okay? So, the first part of the devil's three-way is the leg drag position, okay? So, I'm trying to get here and I'm basically wanting to let me pass. If he starts to frame and get his legs in, okay? Here's where, again, I frame on this leg to make sure I have pressure going this way. I take a bottom grip, I don't go here, and kind of the grip on his knee, I'm not doing this like we often see in the X pass, okay? I'm actually going under because again, I want to push this knee away from me, okay? And from here, I'm going to take this hip, put it on his hip on my hip on his hip. I'm going to take my hand and put it on his hip. I'm going to come up, flare my elbow out into his leg, let him carry my weight. And again, I'm not pushing the leg away like this. I'm pushing this way. Okay? And again, I let him carry my weight. Okay? I don't do too much Jiu-Jitsu right now. Okay? I let him carry my weight and try to let him see what he can do. Okay? So that should look kind of like this. How can you do this? Okay? So and this is the second part of the devil's three-way. Okay? So if he starts to reclaim guard from the leg drag, I go up, hand on his hip, flare the elbow into that far leg, push the near side knee away, put my head on his stomach, and really important, I don't want this leg out like this. Because now he can pummel this one in. Yeah, exactly. Now he gets the guard. No. Just take it out. Okay? I want my knee nice and close. Okay? I want to crowd him as much as possible. Okay? I want him carrying as much as my weight as possible. Yeah, basically kind of take knee to the balls. And now, oh, thank you. Your attempt to reclaim your guard just gave you capacity. Okay? So that's called a hip camp position. So instead of passing in the traditional sense, I'm camping out on his hip, and I'm just letting him carry me a while. Okay? Joseph Chen does this really well. This is like a major part of Joseph Chen's game. He does this very well. It is very disheartening to watch him do this to you. Owen Jones one time posted, I think it was an interview actually, that he was sparring with Joseph Chen, and Joseph Chen just kept him there 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes long. Just didn't even bother passing, just kept him there for 10 minutes. That's the kind of hip camping I want to see. Just kind of keeping him there and let the guy fight for 10 minutes in that hip camp position that's a really weak position until you feel, just like in the video game, how the energy bar goes down until the energies are completely gone, and then you do whatever you want to. Okay? So, clear what I want to see? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to start from the leg drag. Okay, I let my opponent get his knees in, and I switch to the hip camp, and then again I let him kind of try to do stuff from here. Okay? So just all I want to see you guys do right now, okay? So again, everyone gets a minute. Switch up again so that everyone gets fair time. That's looking better with everyone, so now we're going to the last part of the devil's three-way. And then we'll do some sparring. Sorry, I know I'm giving a lot of information, not doing as much sparring, but we had a nice intensive warm-up that was very sparring-like, so it's not that you haven't done sparring, okay? So, first part, we got our leg drag. Second part, we got the hip camp, okay? Again, there are good and bad reactions from my opponent in this position. Sometimes you'll notice you'll have guys who get like scoop grip on this leg and try to pull. That is the best thing I can get. That pulls me into the pass. I say thank you. Again, the most common, I don't want to say the actual best, but the most common reaction you're going to see from people who are good at guard is that from here they're going to basically frame on my head and my shoulder. Head and shoulder, and yeah, exactly. And bench press me up and try to get a lasso in. Yeah. This is the most common reaction I see from people that they use this, not kind of lasso guard, it's just they try to use this to reclaim their guard, and we go from here. Yeah, exactly, like that. Okay? So, and here's where the third part of the devil's three-way comes in, okay? So I'm in my hip camp. The minute I see him do this, yeah, go ahead. The minute I see him do this, yeah, I know he's going for the lasso, okay? He's not going to just bench press me and hold me here. He's going to lasso. So, I go to the feet, I go out, I go in, and I put him right back in the leg drag. So, the third part of the devil's three-way is to reset to the beginning of the devil's three-way. And then I just do the whole process all over again. I'm here, and okay, yeah, I just bring it back. Okay, then I just bring it back over here. Go back into the leg drag. Oh, you're here. Okay, then I'm here. Okay, back here. And you just let him tire himself out because all of his good options, you have an answer for. And you just keep putting him back in the three-way, back in the three-way, back in the three-way, until he eventually, again, the energy bar just completely goes out, and he's just eventually in that, oh God, would you just fucking pass already position, which is for me the absolute best position I can have. Okay? So let's do this one now a bit. Okay? So we start with leg drag, switch to the hip clamp, he bench presses me up, tries to lasso in, we pass it over and go back into the leg drag. And we just loop it like that from now on, okay? So clear what I want to see? Okay, let's work on that. Again, switch up partners, 6 rounds, and then we'll do some sparring.